Do you know why you keep asking for the same things over and over again, yet your reality stays exactly the same? It's because you're making the most invisible mistake of all, believing that manifestation is something you do when in reality, it's something you are. Let me share something that's going to shift your perspective forever. You don't manifest what you desire. You manifest what you are. And that's the key that nobody has told you about quantum manifestation. The frequency analogy. Picture yourself as a radio station for a moment. You can talk into the microphone all you want. You can shout, beg, visualize, perform rituals. But if your internal frequency is tuned to 98.5 FM and what you desire vibrates at 105.3 FM, you'll never connect with that reality. The universe doesn't listen to your words. The universe reads your frequency. And here's what hurts the most. Every time you ask from a place of lack, every time you visualize from desperation, every time you affirm from the fear of not having, you're sending exactly the opposite signal of what you want to receive. You're manifesting your scarcity, not your abundance. The problem isn't that you don't know how to manifest. The problem is that you've been manifesting perfectly, but from the wrong state. From the frequency of someone who needs, someone who searches, someone who feels incomplete. And that frequency attracts more need, more searching, more incompleteness. Channel invitation. If this kind of content resonates with you, if you feel there's something deeper behind these concepts, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. Here we regularly explore these bridges between science, spirituality, and real transformation, without romanticizing the process, but honoring the magic that exists when we truly understand how life works. The new paradigm of manifestation. So what's the new way of looking at this? It's simple, yet profound. Quantum manifestation isn't a technique you apply from time to time. It's a state you embody all the time. It's not something you do when you meditate or journal. It's something you are when you walk, work, sleep, and relate to others. The quantum field surrounding us doesn't function like a catalog where you can choose what you want and politely request it. It functions as a perfect mirror that reflects your internal coherence. And by internal coherence, I mean that attunement between what you think, what you feel, and how you act in every moment of your life. Think of it this way. Your vibrational state is like an energetic signature you're constantly broadcasting. You can't turn it off, you can't fake it, you can't manipulate it from the surface. It's the result of your deepest emotions, your most ingrained beliefs, the patterns you live on autopilot without even realizing it. So when you say, I want abundance, but your nervous system is programmed for survival, when you affirm, I deserve love, but your heart is armored by unhealed wounds, when you visualize, I have health, but your body lives in chronic stress, you're sending contradictory signals, and the universe doesn't respond to your conscious words. It responds to your most authentic frequency. The inside-out approach. The key lies in stopping your attempts to manifest from the outside in and starting to manifest from the inside out. It's not about convincing the universe to give you something. It's about becoming someone who already lives in that reality, who already vibrates at that frequency, who already embodies that version of yourself you wish to be. When you achieve that coherence, when your internal being aligns with your external desire, manifestation stops being an effort and becomes a natural consequence. The neuroscience of manifestation. To understand how this works internally, you need to grasp something fundamental about quantum physics and neuroscience, something that's going to completely revolutionize how you approach manifestation from this moment forward. Your brain doesn't distinguish between what's actually happening and what you're vividly imagining. For your nervous system, a remembered experience, a present experience, and an experience imagined with sufficient emotional intensity activate exactly the same neural networks. Think about that for a second. When you remember a traumatic event from your past, your heart rate increases, your palms might sweat, your breathing changes, even though the event isn't happening right now. Your body is responding to a memory as if it were real. This is the same mechanism, but in reverse, that allows you to create new realities. This means that when you manage to genuinely feel as if you already have what you desire, your brain begins to reorganize its structure to sustain that new reality. It generates new connections, new patterns, new automatic responses. Neuroscientists call this neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself based on repeated experiences, whether those experiences are physical or purely mental. And this is where magic becomes science, where ancient spiritual practices meet cutting-edge neuroscience, where what mystics have known for thousands of years gets validated by modern brain imaging technology. Your nervous system is like a very sensitive musical instrument. When it's out of tune due to stress, anxiety, emotional survival, it emits a chaotic frequency. Scientists can actually measure this. When you're in a state of stress or fear, your heart rhythm becomes erratic and disordered. This is called an incoherent heart rhythm pattern. But when you manage to calm it, center it, bring it to a state of coherence through practices like focused breathing, genuine gratitude, or meditation, it begins to emit a clear, defined frequency. Your heart rhythm becomes smooth and ordered. This is called a coherent heart rhythm pattern. And that frequency is what the quantum field recognizes and amplifies. It's not mysticism, it's measurable, repeatable science. The HeartMath Institute has done decades of research on this, showing that this coherent state doesn't just feel better, it actually changes how your brain processes information, how your immune system functions, and yes, how you interact with the possibilities around you. The tuning fork metaphor. Think of yourself as a tuning fork. One tuning fork can't make another tuning fork sound, but when it vibrates at a specific frequency, all tuning forks tuned to that same frequency automatically begin to resonate. There's no force, no manipulation, it's pure resonance. This is sympathetic vibration, and it's a fundamental principle of physics. This is exactly what happens with quantum manifestation, but on a much more profound level than most people realize. When your internal being consistently vibrates at the frequency of abundance, health, love, purpose, you begin to resonate with all the possibilities that exist at that same frequency. You don't attract what you want, you synchronize with what already exists as a quantum possibility. In quantum physics, there's a concept called superposition. It means that all possibilities exist simultaneously until observation collapses them into one reality. Right now, in this moment, the version of reality where you're abundant exists. The version where you're healthy exists. The version where you're loved and fulfilled exists. They all exist as potential quantum states. The question isn't whether these realities exist. They do. The question is, which one are you tuned into? Which frequency are you broadcasting so strongly and consistently that the universe has no choice but to reflect it back to you? But here's the most important part, that synchronization can't be forced from the conscious mind. It has to emerge from the complete integration of your being. This is what separates those who successfully manifest from those who keep trying and failing. Your body has to feel it at a cellular level. Your heart has to believe it emotionally. Your mind has to align with it intellectually, and your actions have to reflect it practically. When that internal coherence exists, when all levels of your being are vibrating at the same frequency, you become a quantum magnet. Not to attract things toward you in some magical way, but to synchronize with the reality that already exists in potential form and allow it to manifest through you. You become a living antenna, broadcasting so clearly, so consistently, that the universe starts organizing circumstances, opportunities, people, and events around your frequency. And from the outside, it looks like magic. But from the inside, you know it's simply alignment. The sabotaging mistakes. Now, here's what hurts the most. Many of the things you believe are helping you manifest are actually sabotaging the entire process, and they do it so subtly that you don't even notice. First mistake, obsessing over results. Every time you compulsively check if what you asked for has arrived, every time you despair because you don't see signs, every time you doubt whether it's working, you're sending exactly the opposite signal. You're vibrating from lack, from impatience, from the need for control. And that frequency attracts more waiting, more desperation, more emptiness. The second mistake, using affirmations as emotional painkillers, repeating, "I am abundant," while your body is contracted with fear, saying, "I deserve love," while your heart is closed from wounds, affirming, "I have health," while your nervous system is in survival mode. That's not manifestation, that's self-deception, and the universe doesn't respond to what you say, but to what you genuinely feel. Third mistake, making manifestation a separate activity from your life. Meditating for 20 minutes, visualizing in the morning, writing in your journal, and then spending the rest of the day complaining, criticizing, feeling like a victim, living on autopilot. It's like putting a drop of blue ink in a red ocean and expecting everything to turn blue. Fourth mistake, manifesting from the ego, not from the soul. Asking for things to feel better, to prove something, to fill a void, to have control over life. When you manifest from psychological need, you're manifesting more need. When you manifest from the fear of not having, you're manifesting more lack. The problem isn't that you don't know the techniques. The problem is that you're applying spiritual techniques from a mental state that contradicts them. And that internal contradiction is exactly what the quantum field is reflecting back to you. A moment of compassion. Take a deep breath for a moment. If you're recognizing yourself in what you just heard, if you feel you've been doing exactly that, I want you to know something very important. You haven't been doing anything wrong. You've been doing everything you knew how to do with the tools you had available at that moment. The truth is, nobody taught you this. Nobody told you that manifesting isn't a technique you apply, but a state you cultivate. Nobody explained that your nervous system has to be your ally, not your enemy. Nobody showed you that internal coherence is more powerful than any external ritual. You've been making an effort, you've been trying, you've been searching. And that speaks to your commitment to your growth, to your courage, to keep believing that something better is possible. But now you understand why it's been so difficult. Not because you don't have the power, not because you don't deserve what you desire, but because you've been using a strategy that wasn't aligned with how quantum manifestation actually works. It's as if you'd been trying to tune a radio station by turning the volume dial instead of the frequency dial. The problem wasn't your effort, it was the direction of your effort. And this is truly liberating because it means you don't need to work harder. You don't need more techniques. You don't need more information. What you need is a different approach, an approach that honors your body's wisdom, respects your nervous system's rhythms, integrates all levels of your being instead of forcing only from the mind. Quantum manifestation isn't something to conquer. It's something to allow. It's not something you do to life. It's something life does through you when you align with its natural frequency. The deep questions. Now I want you to ask yourself a very honest, very deep question. You don't need to answer me. You only need to answer yourself with total sincerity. When was the last time you felt genuinely at peace with what you already have? When was the last time you experienced gratitude not as a technique to get more, but as a natural way of inhabiting your present, not as a transaction with the universe? I'll be grateful so you give me more, but as a genuine appreciation for the miracle of what already is. Think about it, because this question reveals everything about your current frequency. If you can't feel abundance with what already exists in your life, how will you be able to sustain the frequency of abundance when more arrives? This is why so many lottery winners end up broke. They receive the abundance, but they were never vibrating at the frequency of abundance. They were vibrating at the frequency of lack that finally got lucky. And since your frequency always wins, they return to lack. If you can't feel love for who you already are, with all your imperfections, with all your history, with all your current circumstances, how will you be able to vibrate at the frequency of the love you wish to receive from others? You see, the universe isn't testing you to see if you're grateful enough to deserve more. That's ego-based thinking. The universe is simply matching your frequency. If you can't find abundance in what is, you're broadcasting scarcity, and scarcity attracts more scarcity. The second question is even more revealing, and I want you to really sit with this one. In what specific way would your life change if tomorrow you woke up being exactly who you want to be, having exactly what you desire to have? I'm not referring to external things. I'm not asking about the car, the house, the bank account, the relationship status. I'm referring to how you would feel in your body, how you would walk through the world, how you would breathe, how you would speak to yourself in your mind, how you would relate to yourself and others. Would you feel more confident, more peaceful, more joyful, more free, more loving, more powerful, more connected? Because here's the key that changes everything. That feeling, that way of being, that internal frequency is already available to you. It's not locked behind the door of achievement. It's not waiting for circumstances to change. It exists right now as a choice you can make. You don't need to wait for external circumstances to arrive before you start embodying that version of yourself. In fact, it works the opposite way. You need to start embodying that version of yourself for those external circumstances to arrive. The person who is abundant doesn't feel abundant because they have money. They have money because they feel abundant. The person who is loved doesn't feel worthy because they are in a relationship. They are in a relationship because they feel worthy. You can begin right now, in this moment, with this breath. Let that settle. Just allow this question to resonate within you without pressure, without needing the perfect answer. Sometimes the most powerful questions don't need immediate answers. They just need space to germinate, to work on you at a level deeper than the conscious mind. Practical implementation. So how do you do this practically? How do you go from understanding the concept to living it in your daily life? Because understanding is just the first step. Embodiment is where transformation actually happens. The answer lies in simple actions, but done with a completely different intention. Not as techniques to get something, but as practices to become someone. First, you need to train your nervous system to recognize how the frequency you wish to manifest feels. This isn't done with the mind, it's done with the body. Your body is actually smarter than your mind when it comes to frequency. It knows how to tune in naturally if you give it the right conditions. Every morning, before checking your phone, before thinking about everything you have to do, before the world rushes in with its demands and distractions, take 5 minutes to feel in your body what it would be like to wake up already being that person you wish to be. And here's the crucial distinction. Don't visualize, feel. There's a massive difference. Visualization is often a mental activity. You're creating pictures in your mind. But the quantum field doesn't respond to pictures. It responds to feeling, to emotion, to the energetic state of your being. So instead of seeing yourself in a new car, feel what it feels like to be someone who naturally has that car. Feel the relaxation in your nervous system. Feel the confidence in your posture. Feel the ease in your breath. Let your breath adjust to that frequency. If you were already living your desired reality, would you be breathing shallow and tight or deep and relaxed? Your body knows. Let it show you. Let your posture reflect that confidence. How would you hold yourself if you already were that person, not in an artificial, forced way, but in a natural, embodied way? Your body knows this too. Let your heart expand with that reality. Let it feel safe to open, safe to be vulnerable, safe to receive what it desires. Do this every single morning, not as a technique, but as a practice of remembering who you truly are, beneath all the conditioning, beneath all the fear, beneath all the stories of limitation. Second, interrupt the automatic patterns that keep you in the old frequency. This is where most people fail, not in the morning practice, but in the other 23 hours and 55 minutes of the day. Every time you catch yourself complaining, every time you surprise yourself feeling like a victim, every time you notice you're vibrating in lack, gossiping, judging, contracting, defending, don't judge yourself. Self-judgment just creates more of the same low frequency. Simply pause, take a breath, and ask yourself, how would the version of me who already lives what I desire respond to this situation? What would they say? How would they feel? What action would they take? And from there, make the adjustment. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be conscious. Even a 1-degree shift in your response creates a ripple effect through your entire day. This is the practice. Not getting it right all the time, but catching yourself more quickly each time you slip back into old patterns. The gap between the slip and the awareness of the slip gets shorter and shorter until eventually you're living mostly from your new frequency. Third, start making decisions from your future, not from your past. This is one of the most powerful shifts you can make, and it requires vigilance because your brain is wired to make decisions based on past data. Before choosing what to say in a conversation, what to buy, how to spend your time, how to react to a challenge, whether to take an opportunity or play it safe, pause and ask yourself, does this decision bring me closer to the frequency of who I want to be, or does it keep me in the frequency of who I've been? Will this choice expand me or contract me? Will it open possibilities or close them? Will it be an expression of my highest self or my fearful self? And then choose coherently. One decision at a time, one response at a time, one action at a time. You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. You just have to make the next decision from your new frequency. And then the next one, and then the next one. Over time, these small, coherent choices compound into massive transformation. Fourth, cultivate the practice of authentic gratitude, not as a technique to get more, but as a way to tune into the abundance that already exists. This is perhaps the most powerful frequency shifter available to you, and it's completely free. Every night before sleeping, find 3 things you can feel genuine gratitude for. Not things you think you should be grateful for, things that actually move your heart when you connect with them. Don't think about them, feel them. Let the gratitude start in your chest and radiate outward. Let it fill your body. Let it change your breathing. Let it soften your face. Let it relax your shoulders. Let that frequency of appreciation be the last thing your nervous system experiences before resting. Why? Because your subconscious mind is most impressionable in the moments before sleep. What you feel as you drift off becomes the substrate your mind works with while you sleep, reorganizing memories, processing emotions, and yes, tuning your frequency for the next day. Fifth, create evidence for your new identity. Your brain believes what you show it repeatedly. So start collecting evidence that you're already becoming the person you wish to be. Did you choose the healthier option today? That's evidence. Did you speak up for yourself in a meeting? Evidence. Did you spend time on your creative project instead of scrolling? Evidence. Did you respond with patience instead of reacting with anger? Evidence. Keep a journal if it helps, but more importantly, train yourself to notice these moments. Celebrate them internally. Let your nervous system register. This is who I am now. This is what I do. This is my new normal. These actions seem simple, but their power lies in coherent repetition. When you do them consistently, not perfectly, but consistently, your nervous system begins to recognize this new frequency as its natural state. The old patterns start to feel foreign. The new patterns start to feel like home. And when that happens, manifestation stops being something you do and becomes something you are. You're no longer trying to manifest, you're simply living from your manifestation, and life responds accordingly. Deepening the journey. If you feel you need a more structured path to sustain this transformation, if you want to deepen this process of internal coherence in an organized and progressive way, I invite you to explore The Path, La Senda. It's a method that accompanies you step by step on this journey of self-discovery, identity redefinition, and habit change from the root. It's not a course about manifestation, but a complete process that reorganizes the internal foundations that sustain any real transformation. The link is in the description. Embracing imperfection. Now, something very important you need to understand, something that will save you from unnecessary suffering and self-criticism. You're going to fail. Not occasionally, regularly. You're going to have days where you completely forget all of this. Days where the alarm goes off and instead of taking 5 minutes to tune your frequency, you immediately grab your phone and fall into the scroll. Days where you react from your old patterns before you even realize what's happening. You're going to have moments where you discover yourself vibrating exactly at the old frequency, feeling exactly the emotions you thought you'd overcome, making exactly the decisions you knew didn't serve you, falling back into exactly the stories you promised yourself you'd stop telling. And that's okay. Not only is it okay, it's completely normal. It's a natural, necessary, inevitable part of the reprogramming process, and the sooner you accept this, the faster you'll actually transform. Your nervous system has been functioning in a certain way for years, maybe decades. It's developed deep neural pathways, automatic responses, survival mechanisms that once kept you safe. It's not going to transform overnight just because you've intellectually understood how quantum manifestation works. Intellectual understanding is level 1. Emotional integration is level 2. Behavioral consistency is level 3. And neurobiological rewiring is level 4. You're working through layers of conditioning that go deeper than your conscious awareness. Think of it like learning to walk. When you were a child, you didn't get up one day and walk perfectly from the first step. You fell 1,000 times, you stumbled, you wobbled, you grabbed onto furniture, you landed on your diaper-padded bottom again and again and again. But here's what you never did. You never thought, I'm not good at this. I should just give up and crawl forever. You never interpreted falling as evidence of your fundamental inadequacy. You never made falling mean something about your worth or your potential. You simply got up and tried again, and again, and again, until eventually, walking became so natural you didn't even think about it anymore. This is exactly the same process. Every time you discover yourself outside your new frequency, every time you notice you've returned to old patterns, it's not a sign you're doing something wrong. It's actually a sign you're doing something right. It's a sign you're awake, you're conscious, you're aware enough to notice the gap between who you're being and who you're becoming. And that awareness, that noticing, is the very mechanism of transformation. Most people never even notice they've slipped back into old patterns. They live their entire lives on autopilot, unconsciously repeating the same frequency decade after decade. The fact that you can notice means you're already ahead of 95% of humanity. The power isn't in never falling. The power is in how quickly you can recognize you fell and how gentle you can be with yourself as you stand up. Can you notice without judging? Can you adjust without shaming? Can you return to center without making it mean you're broken? Mastery isn't perfection. Mastery is the ability to return to your center again and again with increasing ease, with increasing compassion toward yourself, with increasing trust in the process. A master isn't someone who never gets triggered. A master is someone who gets triggered and recovers in minutes instead of days, who notices the pattern and shifts it before it cascades into a whole day or week of low frequency. So when you slip, and you will slip, here's what you do. Take a breath, put your hand on your heart, and say to yourself, either out loud or silently, I see you, I'm still here, we're still doing this, let's try again. That's it. No drama, no self-flagellation, no questioning whether any of this works. Just a simple, loving acknowledgement that you're human, you're learning, you're evolving, and the process includes missteps. In fact, I'll go further. The missteps aren't obstacles to your manifestation. They're part of your manifestation. They're showing you what still needs to heal, what still needs to integrate, what still needs your conscious attention. Every time you fall and get back up with compassion, you're strengthening the very frequency you're trying to embody. You're proving to yourself and to the universe that you're committed to this transformation regardless of how messy it gets. And the universe respects that. The quantum field responds to that level of commitment, not the commitment to be perfect, but the commitment to keep showing up, keep choosing, keep tuning, keep coming back to center no matter how many times you drift away. The transformative gesture. Before this video ends, I want to propose something very simple but profoundly transformative. Something that can mark the difference between this remaining as interesting information in your mind or becoming the beginning of your true transformation. When you finish watching this video, before doing anything else, before checking other videos, before getting distracted by any notification, take a moment to do this. Place your hand over your heart and feel it beating. Feel how each beat is a confirmation that you already have the most important thing, life itself, flowing through you. From that place, from that connection with your own vitality, ask your heart a very simple question. What version of myself am I choosing to be in this moment? And whatever answer emerges, don't judge it. Simply receive it with curiosity, with love, with the understanding that you already have everything you need to start vibrating differently. This simple gesture is actually an act of quantum rebellion. It's the moment where you stop seeking transformation outside and begin to recognize the power that already lives within you. It's the instant where you go from being someone who learns about manifestation to someone who begins to embody it. You don't need complicated rituals. You don't need sophisticated tools. You only need this moment of authentic connection with yourself, this recognition that you're already enough, you already have enough, you already know enough to take the next step toward who you truly came here to be. The transformation has already begun. I want you to know something very important. You're no longer the same person who started watching this video. In this moment, something has changed within you. Maybe you can't define exactly what it is, but there's a seed of new consciousness that's been planted in your interior. And that seed carries within it all the potential of the transformation you seek. Now, you're someone who understands that you don't manifest what you desire, but what you are. You're someone who knows that internal coherence is more powerful than any external technique. You're someone who has chosen to awaken to their true quantum power. And once you awaken to this, there's no going back. The path toward conscious manifestation isn't a destination you arrive at. It's a path you walk every day, every moment, every decision you make. It's a living practice of choosing yourself again and again, of remembering who you truly are beyond circumstances, beyond the limitations you believed you had. The perfect moment is now. And here's the beautiful truth that I want to sink deep into your consciousness. You don't have to wait to be ready. You don't have to wait to know more. You don't have to wait to feel more prepared. You don't have to wait until your life is less chaotic, until you have more time, until circumstances are more favorable. The perfect moment to start living from your new frequency is right now. Not the theoretical now that spiritual teachers talk about in abstract terms, the actual now. This breath, this heartbeat, this moment of awareness you're experiencing as these words land in your consciousness. The perfect moment to embody that version of you that you already know in your heart is this instant. Not when you finish this video, not tomorrow morning when you start your new routine, not next Monday when you turn over a new leaf, right now. Because here's what most people don't understand. There is no future moment that's going to feel more right than this one. Your mind will always find reasons to delay. I'll start when I'm less stressed. I'll start when I finish this project. I'll start when I move to the new place. I'll start after the holidays. But that's just the ego's resistance to change. It's the old frequency trying to maintain itself. It knows that the moment you truly commit, the moment you truly step into your new frequency, it starts to die. And it will do everything it can to keep you in the familiar, even if the familiar is painful. You know what the difference is between people who transform their lives and people who stay stuck in the same patterns for decades? It's not talent, it's not circumstances, it's not even opportunity. It's the willingness to start before they feel ready. It's the courage to take the first step while still afraid. It's the commitment to choose their new frequency, even when the old one is screaming at them to stay safe, stay small, stay the same. Transformation doesn't happen in the big moments. It happens in the small choices. The choice to pause before reacting. The choice to feel gratitude instead of complaint. The choice to respond from love instead of fear. The choice to trust instead of control. And that choice is available to you right now, not later. Now. The version of you that you're trying to become isn't somewhere in the future waiting for you to arrive. It's here, in this moment, waiting for you to choose it. It's a frequency you can tune into right now, a way of being you can embody in the next breath. Yes, you'll slip back. Yes, you'll forget. Yes, you'll have to keep choosing again and again. But each time you choose, you make it easier. Each time you tune in, you make the signal stronger. Each time you embody your new frequency, even for a moment, you're literally rewiring your brain, reprogramming your nervous system, and shifting your quantum field. The transformation is a continuous path, and every step you take from internal coherence brings you closer to the reality you wish to live. Not because you're moving toward something external, but because you're aligning more and more fully with what's already true about you beneath all the conditioning. You are abundant. You are loved. You are powerful. You are worthy. You are enough. These aren't affirmations you need to convince yourself of. These are truths you need to remember and embody, and the remembering starts now, not when you feel ready. Now. Not when circumstances change. Now. Not when you've figured it all out. Now. This is your invitation, not to try harder, not to do more, but to be different, to choose different, to vibrate different, starting with this very breath. Are you ready? Actually, forget that question. Ready is a myth the ego uses to keep you safe. The better question is, are you willing? Are you willing to start before you're ready? Are you willing to choose your new frequency even when it feels foreign? Are you willing to keep showing up even when you keep slipping back? Are you willing to trust the process even when you can't see the results yet? Because that willingness, not readiness, but willingness, is what opens the door to quantum transformation. And the door's open right now. It's been open this whole time. You're the only one who can walk through it. So what are you waiting for? Permission? You have it. A sign? This is it. The right time? It's now. The quantum field is waiting for your new frequency. Not tomorrow, not when you're ready. Right now. In this moment, with this choice, with this breath. Final invitation. If you feel this content resonates with something deep within you, if you recognize there's something in you that already knew these truths, I invite you to accompany me on this path. Subscribe to the channel, and let's continue exploring together these territories where science meets spirituality, where ancestral wisdom integrates with modern knowledge, where real transformation becomes possible. Remember, you're not manifesting what you want. You're manifesting what you are. And the moment you choose to be different, everything changes. The quantum field is waiting for your new frequency. Not tomorrow, not when you're ready, right now. Are you ready to stop trying and start being? The choice, as always, has been yours all along.